All right, let's talk about something that's, well, it's completely shaking up the business world. I'm talking about AI in customer support. And no, this isn't about those clunky old chatbots you're used to. We're talking about a huge leap forward, from a simple chatbot to a true co-pilot. An AI that doesn't just talk, but actually does things. So yeah, let's dig into how this is changing pretty much everything.
I mean, does this sound familiar? Your support team is just buried. It feels like they're drowning, right? The tickets just keep piling up, the phones are ringing off the hook, the chat notifications are endless. It's a constant battle just to keep your head above water. And you start to wonder, is the only answer really just to keep throwing more people at the problem?
Okay, so before we get to the solution, we really need to understand the scale of the problem. Because what we're looking at here is nothing short of a full-blown support crisis.
And this crisis is really a perfect storm of a few key things. I mean, look at this. First, you've got customer expectations that have just gone through the roof. People want answers now, 24/7. That, of course, leads to ticket queues that are just completely overflowing. And what happens then? Well, your team is rushed, service quality starts to dip, and it becomes inconsistent. So, you throw money at it, right? But that just leads to ballooning costs. And the worst part? Your amazing support agents, the people on the front lines, they're burning out. The turnover is insane. It's this vicious cycle that just keeps feeding itself.
But right when things seem their bleakest, something new comes along. A technology that isn't just a band-aid, but a fundamental game changer. This is where we enter the AI revolution.
So when we say AI and customer support, what are we really talking about? First off, you got to forget everything you know about those old clunky chatbots. You know the ones, they follow a rigid script, and if you ask the wrong question, they just break. Nope. Today's AI is a whole different beast. It's powered by what we call large language models, or LLMs. Think of them as these incredibly powerful brains that have been trained on just a massive amount of information. So they don't just see keywords, they get the whole picture, the context, what the customer actually wants, and they can even pick up on emotion. The result? A conversation that actually feels, well, human.
Okay, get ready for this number because it's a big one. 70%. The best AI tools out there right now can resolve up to 70% of those basic, everyday support questions instantly, with zero human intervention. Just think about that for a second. Imagine what your team could do with all that time back.
And it's not just about time. The economic impact is, well, it's massive. We're talking $80 billion. That's what Gartner predicts AI will slash from contact center labor costs globally by 2026. This isn't just about saving a few bucks here and there. This is a complete rewrite of the financial rulebook for customer service.
So, what does that huge $80 billion number mean for your business? Well, on average, we're seeing companies cut their overall support costs by up to 30%. That's real money that you can then pour back into things that actually grow the business. Better products, more marketing, or, investing in your amazing human team.
All right, now this is where things get really interesting. This is the core of the whole revolution. Because we're not just talking about an AI that can answer questions anymore. We're talking about an AI that can actually take action. These are autonomous agents, and trust me, this changes everything.
I mean, just look at the difference here. On the one hand, you have the old chatbots. They can answer a question, sure, but they were totally reactive, stuck to a script. All they could really do was give you information. But on the other hand, you have these modern agents. They don't just answer, they act. They can reason through a problem, figure out what needs to be done, and then just do it. We're talking about processing a refund, booking a meeting, complex stuff, all handled automatically.
Okay, let's walk through a real-world example. Say a customer wants to make a return. In the old world, that's a ticket for a human agent. But now, the AI agent jumps in. First, it checks the order details, makes sure it's within your return policy. Then, it connects directly to your other systems, like Shopify or Stripe. Poof, it processes the refund. And finally, it shoots a confirmation email to the customer. Done. A whole multi-step process that used to take up a human's valuable time, now it's over in seconds.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? Like a magic bullet. But, and this is a big but, with all this power comes a huge need for caution. It's so tempting to just think, let's automate everything. But what happens when the AI runs into something it's never seen before? Let's look at a cautionary tale that shows what can go wrong when you take the human out of the equation.
You've probably heard this saying before, and it's so true. AWS, Amazon's cloud platform, is basically the backbone for a huge chunk of the internet. So if AWS has a problem, everyone has a problem. And in our little story here, things are about to go very, very wrong.
So just imagine this scenario for a second.
A huge company decides to go all in on automation. They let go of a ton of their experienced engineers and replace them with these new, shiny AI systems designed to manage everything. They roll out these self-healing tools across their entire infrastructure. And for a few months, everything seems fine. But then, bam, a massive 5-hour outage. Why? Because the AI hit a weird, unexpected problem it wasn't trained for, a classic edge case. And the very people who had the experience to fix it, well, they weren't there anymore.
And that brings us to the key lesson from all of this. It's so important, you can't automate judgment. Simple as that. AI is absolutely brilliant for the routine stuff, the predictable tasks you can do at scale. But when you're faced with a truly weird, complex problem that needs creativity and deep expertise, that's where you need a human. You just can't code that kind of judgment.
So if full automation isn't the answer, what is? Well, that leads us to the real path forward. It's not about choosing between AI or humans. It's about creating a true human-AI partnership. It's about letting each one do what they do best to build something that's way better than either could be on their own.
And this is what that partnership looks like in practice. Think of it as a new division of labor. The AI handles the bulk of the work, let's say 80%. All the repetitive, simple questions. It's the tireless front line. And that frees up your human agents to pour all their energy into the other 20%. The really tough cases, the emotionally charged conversations, the problems that require real strategic thinking.
So, what's the playbook here? How do you actually do this? It's pretty straightforward. You use AI for what it was built for, massive scale and incredible speed. At the same time, you empower your people to focus on what humans do best, building real relationships and thinking strategically. And, this part is crucial, you always have a human in the loop for oversight. It's really about getting the best of both worlds, the raw efficiency of AI blended with the irreplaceable empathy of a human being.
Look, the bottom line is this. The AI support agent is no longer science fiction. It's here, it's arrived, and it's ready to completely change the way you connect with your customers. So the question isn't if this is going to happen, it's how are you going to partner with it? How will you build that team of human and machine to create a customer experience that's better than anything we've ever seen before?